everyone, my name is Emily Graslie. I'm the host and writer of a popular science YouTube channel called The Brain Scoop. One of my most frequently asked questions on The Brain Scoop is, Emily, how do you do your hair? I went for a while ignoring this question, and by a while I mean 2 years, because I didn't think that I should answer the question because I wanted people to ask me instead about perhaps the morphological differences of North American badgers. But since nobody was asking me that question, I guess I'll finally answer the question. Emily, how do you do your hair? And I've also never even watched a beauty blog before, so I don't know how these demonstrations are supposed to go. So I'm just gonna do it how I think they're probably done, and I hope it makes sense to you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so step 1. Undo the braid that you already did for the purpose of this program. I always braid my hair on the same side because I'm a creature of habit. There are a few things that you need before you get started. The first thing is hair. I'm not entirely sure how long your hair should be. It should be long enough for you to braid it and then pull the braid back, but even if you can't, they invented bobby pins. Some other things that you will need. A comb. I have this comb. It has wide teeth on one end and skinny teeth on the other. You can probably use any comb. You can probably even use a fork if you're a mermaid or don't have a comb. I also have a brush. The brush is for when you don't want to use the comb. This is not a requirement, but you might also want some of these plastic bands that look like children could choke on them, or animals. My friend's cat eats these, so then he had to have surgery. He's okay now, but maybe don't have these if you have children or cats that eat rubber bands. You will also need a hair tie like this. I like this one because it is red. You might also want a giant can of hairspray to make your hair look as though it always does exactly what you want, even though you probably put a gallon of this in your hair every day. Like I do. Okay, let's get started. I'm just gonna do this braid across the front of my forehead and not across the top of my crown of my head because it's easier for you to see, but it's the same thing. Once you get it down, you can do it everywhere. You could probably do it around the back of your head. You could probably do it around the front of your face. It's probably like 3 or 4 steps. I'll forget what the steps are, but we're just gonna go for it. Step number 1, get your comb. I use the skinny part of the comb. What you wanna do is find where your hair parts, make a part in your hair. And then I go about 2 inches in on my part and put my comb right there. And then you make a line and just comb all the way down. And then once you get to about your ear, you split forward. Then you have 2 parts. You have a part here and you have a part here. I can't actually really see what I'm doing on the camera. We're just gonna wing it. So once you have your part here, you wanna take this and comb it forward. So you have this whole front part of your hair. You start to get a really sexy looking comb over going. You just wanna keep combing your comb over. And then you can throw the rest of your hair back. You don't need that right now. Don't cut it off. That's not what I meant. Just get it out of the way. And then put this all back there. This is a very attractive look. You could stop right here if you wanted to. Next thing you want to do is just keep hold of this. It's not really going to go anywhere, but just hold on to it. Make sure this is all back here. And then I go down about 1 inch over my ear and kind of pick up a little bit of that other hair. Don't let this get out of the way. Just keep combing it over. Next, I put my comb down because you don't need it anymore. You just have this nice chunk of hair right here. If you start braiding and you're holding all of this all the way up here, you're just gonna have like this whole long comb over that's super visible and doesn't look that great. Maybe it does, whatever you want to do. I like to comb it closer to my ear. So you just take a little bit of hair, kind of go down this way, leave some of this up here, and then like right there. This is when you split your hair into 3 parts. I'm gonna take a tiny little piece, and 2 more tiny little pieces out of that. And then you just start braiding. I do 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I start with the braid one that's in the front. I start taking a little bit of hair from my forehead and incorporating it in the braid. I lost what my fingers were doing. I'm confused. There it is. Okay, so incorporate that a little bit. I'll lean in so you can see it. Okay, there we go. And then you just keep pulling a little bit of hair from the front, but only on the front braid, not on the back braid. Then you just got this crazy French braid that's going all over the place. So right here, and take a little more hair, and just do that. Whoops. And then just keep pulling it from the front. When you do this, instead of the braid being right at the front of your forehead, it's kind of over the top, in the middle, like a tiara made out of keratin. So I just keep doing that and keep French braiding around here until you're picking up all the hair over your other ear. So right there, and right there, and then I'm gonna do one more right there. And then you want your braid to be free. You don't want to French braid all this. This is the easy part. Then you just braid. Do, 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 the braiding song. The braiding song. Do, 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 boo, doo, boo, 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 doo, boo, doo, boo. When you get to the bottom, and it's all frizzy and frayed, you just don't care about that because that's just the way that your hair is. It's not going to be perfect. If you get to this part, you can take one of these little elastics, these poly bands that are actually just bands, and then tie this off so you don't lose it. Just do that. Usually I skip this part and I just put my braid in my mouth and hold it right here while I finish doing the rest of my hair. Because it's my hair and it's clean. You don't have to do this. Don't do this with my hair. That'd be great. Don't put my hair in your mouth. And then you can just take the rest of your hair and pull it back in a ponytail. Like this. I get that out of your mouth. So you just pull this back, and that's when you have the comb. And you want to pull your hair back into a ponytail. Do that, and then on this side, make sure it's all back. And then you just take your braid and loosely hold it. Just loosely hold it there. And then you have your hair tie. Where to go? You just take your hair tie and you grab it and you just make a ponytail. And then I tug the hair braid out a little bit so it kind of does this swoopy thing and pull it tight. And then you go back and you take the little rubber band off the end. So then it just magically looks as though you just have a braid that just comes out of nowhere. Ta-da! And that is how you do the Emily Graslie hair braid. My feet are asleep. Finishing touches, take a little bit of your hairspray. Don't get it on your glasses, and just some spritz and then smooth it on over. I got it in my mouth. And another thing that I like to do, if you don't want to have a giant part visible over here, I just go and gently on the side, just kind of pull some of it forward from it here, so it kind of covers it. So then it just looks a little more natural. So I hope this tutorial was useful to you. I apologize to every beauty blogger in the world. I just ruined your craft. I'm not a beauty blogger. I cut up animals on the internet.